Yo, what's up, everyone? Thank you for tapping into the channel. I used to be a full-time musician, and nowadays I run my own digital marketing agency, and I just wanted to share a couple of the really big things that I've learned transitioning from one career to the next. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. And the biggest thing that I've learned is the fact that creatives can do anything. And I feel like if you make stuff, you already know that. Turning nothing into something straight from an idea, it takes a certain type of person and just soul to be able to do that in the first place. So I feel like that was like the first realization was once I started getting a little bit older and realizing that I had turned a talent into something that was paying my bills and allowing me to put food on the table, it flipped my perspective a little bit. I think especially once COVID came, like it just really changed things. I was like, wow, creatives are built different. Like I'm sure you're a creative if you're watching this video. You'll see where I'm going with this. Stay tuned. I got you. And then transitioning careers has me not only reflecting just on my life in so many different ways, but it has me reaching back into my childhood and some of the things that I'm able to be grateful for that my parents shined on me and my brothers was just being able to understand the position that we're in and then doing whatever we can to get out of it. That's like me when I found music. I was lost and learned how to express myself properly, and then it turned into something really big. It took me a while into my career to realize what I had really done because I wasn't as far as I felt like I should have been. So I just had to spend some time internally and really figure out and I guess be proud of myself. Like I said, that would be, I feel like, the first big point I learned is that when you're a creative, when you're someone who works with that side of your brain, you can do anything, bro. I feel like the second biggest thing that I learned, or not even the second biggest thing that I learned, but I would say one of the other really big things that I learned was that you gotta focus on the bigger picture. Not even the bigger picture, that you gotta focus on the biggest picture. And I mean, for me, it was crazy because it's like I started making music in the Midwest and I started to build a little bit of a following. And then I ended up moving to Austin, Texas for some super sketchy music opportunities. I just went off on a limb. I was like, there's nothing else here in the Midwest for me right now. So let me just go see. I mean, I have an opportunity. It could turn into something. And I mean, yes, it had its ups and downs, and I did put myself in some questionable situations along the way. But that eventually, a year later, led me to LA, which is where I actually turned music, this form of expression, into a career that was then paying my bills. And it's not like I'm necessarily special for seeing the bigger picture, I don't think. I feel like it's just, it's kind of about not having any other options and then just finding a little bit of belief within yourself and then running with it. That's, kind of what led me to be where I am right now is it's like, for a long time, music was that bigger picture, just in general, and being able to pay my bills off of my craft, that was the bigger picture. But now that I'm at a whole different point in my career and in my life, I'm like, man, this actually all makes sense. Like yes, I'm now full time into marketing and into digital marketing and stuff, but I didn't realize I'd been doing this the whole time. I just was so focused on my music as the product. Because man, like even going back and thinking about when I moved, like I'd never lived away from home before. I'd never not been around my parents or my family. So I just trusted my gut. I was like, man, let's see what happens. Very rarely will the bigger picture stay the same. I used to be cool with watching movies on my iPhone, but now I'm trying to be on the big screen. I'm trying to go to the theater. That's kind of the way that I've kind of shifted my thinking. Got to see the bigger picture. I was gonna move in a different spot for the last thing that I wanted to cover in this video about what I've learned from going from a full-time musician into a digital marketing agency owner is the fact that no one cares. I'm not. What is my cat doing? Oh, well. Yeah, I was gonna move in a different position to talk about this last point, but obviously I can't. Other cats over there climbing up something. I really don't know what. Let me not get too distracted though. What was I saying? Yeah, no one cares. Or do they? And let me explain what I mean by that. So, one thing I learned when making music was that when we're trying to get people to buy something or we're trying to get our product out, we have to sell more than just the product that we made, in this case being the music. It's like we have to curate ourselves as something. We have to create our music experience as a whole thing. Like it has to be a full package, which is okay. And I love doing that. But you have to take into consideration that then everyone else has a different taste and everybody likes different things. And there's just so much that goes into it that you don't really think about when you're just putting songs out on the internet, and with how much the industry has changed, it's made it almost impossible for independent artists and small artists to actually get out there and gain a fan base. And, I'm not necessarily even saying it in a sense of like no one's making it happen, because there are definitely tons of people who are taking like the higher road and actually not selling out and just making good quality music. There's a ton of people who are doing that right now, but it's not how it used to be. There's like this, the toxic culture has just kind of dumbed us down as a society, and it's really affected our attention spans, which then affects people who are trying to gather the attention of people who don't know them yet. You see what I'm saying? So I'm getting into that whole point, going to circle back about no one caring. And it's just because we only have so much that we can care about. Like, we only have so much capacity. Like, everything is at our fingertips right now, to where unless you're really, really piquing the interest in multiple different areas, no one's going to really pay it mind. And if they do, they'll forget about it in a couple of minutes, you know? And the reason why this is such a big point to even talk about right now with the topic that we're covering is it took me a while. It really messed with my self-worth, like, after a while, because it was really validating to be able to, you know, create something from nothing. And it was really valuable to be able to, like, go out there and perform like my works of art that was an extension of myself. But when it felt like the ceiling was a little bit lower than it should have been, or when it felt like there was a cap on like where things could go without certain extra things like a record deal or selling out and having to compromise your value, stuff like that, it felt strange, because it's like, man, why, how do I get around these people? Again, now, for the first time ever, now that I'm running this agency, I still have a creative director role. I'm still helping curate campaigns like for some of these clients that we have, but I'm not taking my idea or taking my feelings and then turning them into something to then be packaged up and sold. And it's a lot different in here. And that's why I said, like, no one cares, or do they? Because they do care. It's just that they don't care about the things that it looks like only you care about, if that makes sense, right? Because it's like our music is like, if they don't like it, let's say that their taste does not align with the music that you make, they're not gonna like your music. It doesn't matter if they're your best friend, you know? But let's say you are an entrepreneur and you are building sidewalks, and they really like the sidewalk in front of their mom's house, and then come to find out you made it, they're gonna care about it all of a sudden, right? Because you're doing something that they're able to have a certain taste to like. It's just about it happening. But that's the best way. I think that's the best way that I can put it. So yeah, those are just a few things that I've been reflecting on lately. My life is a lot different nowadays. I used to be in the studio all day, or traveling to go do a show, or writing for other artists, or just spending my life surrounded around creating something only for the benefit of what seemed like me. And now I am having meetings and writing emails and keeping track of a creative team, making sure that we can get these other companies that we work with ideas out there in a way that makes sense. And it's been a blast, and just validating in a different way to be able to find something new that I really, really enjoy doing. So before I go, I just want to say, if you made it this far, shout out to you. I completely removed myself from all my other platforms because I wanted to share something new that I haven't talked about with new people. You know, I didn't want there to be any kind of biased opinions or anything like that. And I'm just excited to be making content for me again. You know, I've been really focused on helping other businesses grow and focusing on my company that is doing these creative installations and everything for other people. And it's been working a lot, but I haven't been able to do anything for myself. So if nothing else comes from it, if people don't find any value in these types of videos, that's fine too. I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm really going to appreciate looking back on this. Especially with, again, how much this year has changed things for me and my future. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you on the next one. Let's change the world.